Hey everybody, what's up? So I wanted to talk about favorite movies, largely because of the fact that I want to do movies, albums, and then games, and just I'll cover the worst stuff, so stuff I don't like. So I kind of want to do this. Um, in terms of movies, the two movies that I've seen the most, and I'm just talking about movies that I have in my actual collection. I don't have access to the movies because I'm moving some stuff around. And so where the movies are, they're kind of blocked. The two that I've seen the most and the two that I love the most are The Running Man. And here's the thing. I know a lot of people go, oh, it was cheesy, it's bad. Richard Dawson, first of all, as the host of the show, I love it. It's funny, especially if you watch old reruns of Family Feud and you see how he acts towards the contestants and that. It's hilarious. And it's almost like it's right there kind of in the movie, but he's creepier. Yes, it's cheesy, the effects are off, odd, but it's just the story itself, how Guy basically goes from being in a highly regarded position as an officer, it seems like, to somebody who, because he doesn't take orders, it becomes a scapegoat, basically. And the entire length of the movie where you see all the different things happening behind the scenes to where they find out what happened to the two contestants that won, definitely worth it. Basketball is number two. I would say it's getting pretty close to how many times I've seen basketball to The Running Man. Not still far off. I did run it. It's like years ago when it came out. I still have my VHS copy of it as well. I'm actually thinking about some point upgrading to Blu-ray. It's one of those ones that I would do it for. If there is a Blu-ray copy. I love basketball because it's got a sense of juvenile humor in a way. The music in it is funny. The song "Words on Your Dick." I'm sorry, it's not something I was expecting to hear. Trey Parker and Matt Stone. I mean, I've seen their other movies, and I wish they would do a movie version of the Book of Mormon. Because I can't go to a live viewing of it. They've had one in my area, and I was just like, no, I'd rather see a movie version of it. It's kind of like with Young Frankenstein, they made a musical version of that, but there's not been a movie released of it yet. I would love to see that. Parker and Stone have great chemistry together, and I'm trying to think of the name of the friend who stars in it because he was also in Orgasmo and she'll look it up. Hannibal the Musical. Cannibal the Musical, I mean. He plays this character by the name of Squeak, who's like the bitch. He gets abused so much, and it's so hilarious. Even when he gets a woman, they're trying to point something out to him, but in the end, it doesn't matter. He's happy, doesn't care. And the best line, well, one of the best ones in my opinion, is they do psych outs, which is where they go up and they try to freak someone out. And he walks up to this guy and goes, "Hey, Tuttle, what's this? I hear your mom's deaf." The guy goes, "No, my mother's dead." A little pipsqueak, and he goes, "Oh, that's why she didn't move around a lot last night." I pissed my pants laughing almost. Gotta love that movie. Amazon Women on This Moon, I almost said spoon for some dumb reason, is kind of like tied in with Kentucky Fried Movie. We'll put it that way because it's along the same lines. There was, for a while, a line of movies where it's kind of like a mixture of different movies that were being parodied. There was a movie called The Groove Tube that I saw. I thought about reviewing it, but I decided not to because there was some stuff in that movie that's kind of highly inappropriate. And after thinking about it, the sense of humor in that movie, one of the scenes in particular, I couldn't do it in good faith. But Kentucky Fried Movie and Amazon Women on the Moon parody different movies. And Amazon Women on the Moon is basically TV network is supposed to be airing this movie, but it keeps getting interrupted by all these different commercials, different stuff like that. and I'm just loving it. And it's like from like the late 70s, early 80s. Kentucky Fried Movie is great as well. You never seen them? Go check them out. The Groove Tube, I would say you probably might find it on Amazon. It's not. There's different scenes of it on YouTube, but I really wouldn't watch it unless your sense of humor ranges into perverted, but skip the clown part. Trust me, I'm not going to go into it. That's the part that I don't like. Um, but yeah, I would definitely go there. Brotherhood of the Wolf is one of my favorite foreign movies. It's a story about a guy who's basically going in, goes to find this wolf that's killing people, and his assistant goes with him, and just everything that happens, how they catch a wolf, they make people think that it's this one that's been terrorizing this area. And it's kind of loosely based off of a true situation, something that did happen in France. So that is another one. I Sell the Dead, great movie about. I have a review on this one. These here on the channel. It's about a guy who's basically a grave robber. He and a friend go out, and he's basically telling his story to this monk, like he's supposed to be executed, and he's just basically explaining everything that's happened. Hilarious. The only one that is really a big name in it is Ron Perlman, who plays this monk who is in a different role as well. Gotta love it. And of course, we can't have a movie review talking about without having Beetlejuice. Loved Michael Keaton in this movie. While he's not overly the main character, he does have a lot of staying power, and I think that's just exactly what kept him going. If you ever watched a movie, there is a surprise, and Tim Burton has acknowledged this. There is a special, small cameo by everybody's favorite little Pumpkin King. It's worth watching, and especially if you like Winona Ryder. I know someone who does. She plays Lydia Dietz, the daughter of a couple who move into this house that's haunted. The couple that lived there before are trying to scare them off, and they end up liking Lydia, treat her basically like a daughter because they didn't have kids. It's a sad movie at times, but it's funny in a lot of different aspects. What else is there? Anything by Mel Brooks. I'm just going to say it. Love Mel. He's a fantastic comedy writer. My favorite phrase by him is always going to be, "It's good to be the king," from History of the World, which they also used in Robin Hood Men in Tights. His humor, it's one of a kind in my opinion. I don't think anybody could take his place. And if you don't know his son, Max, here's the reason why we have World War Z. He actually wrote the book, and there has been this dispute for a long time about that. And finally, they're like, yes, he is the one who wrote it. It is his son. Even when Mel does The Producers as a musical, bringing back his role from the first movie, he has a cameo in it during one of the numbers that they do. I paused because I was not expecting it. He's a great guy, and his wife, Anne Bancroft, actually, one of her last roles was as a fortune teller in Dracula Dead and Loving It. Great to see. So I can't pick, if I had to pick one Mel Brooks movie, I would say Spaceballs, but I would also kind of have to go with History of the World Part 1. Most people might say Blazing Saddles. I'm on the fence about Blazing Saddles, not because of the use of one certain word, but it's because of the fact that Richard Pryor was never credited as one of the writers, which sucked. But I did learn that Mel was actually one of the people who worked on the movie The Elephant Man. He didn't want credited because he didn't think people would take him seriously because of all his former work that he did. Spirited Away would be another one if we want to dive into the realm of anime. I don't know. It's just something about the movie that No Face really is the character that I don't know. There's something about him. It's kind of like this guy who doesn't talk, a character that doesn't talk, but it's almost like you can learn from him because he, in a sense, learns from the main character, and it's just really one of those things. Like if I don't mention names, by the way, please forgive me. I'm trying to go based off the top of my head. I'm not going to grab the movies, go, hey, this is the name of this character, whatever. It really seems like he's one of the characters that has the staying power from the movie. Um, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind is one of the few Jim Carrey movies that I actually like. It's kind of a bittersweet tale about a guy who gets his memory erased after a relationship, but you find out more as you go along, not only about the relationship that he was in, but also the the cause and effect of people having their memories erased. Kind of an interesting one that I was just not expecting. It's so sad. It really is. Um. Oh wait, I do have one of the movies. What am I saying? This is actually my favorite Whoopi Goldberg movie, Jumpin' Jack Flash. She plays her character in the movie works for this international bank, and she starts getting these messages late at night. And when she's working, all of a sudden you know, so she ends up having to crack this code, and she starts working with this guy. Turns out he's a spy who needs help, and she gets wrapped up in a lot. And yes, the song "Jumpin' Jack Flash," they do base the title off of the Stone song. Really, it is featured in here because she's listening to it. And I was like, first time I even heard the song, and it made me like it. And I admit I like the Stone version more than cover versions. So definitely one great movie. I would follow up if you want to talk about her movies. I would say Cat Burglar is probably another good one with Bobcat Goldthwait. Love him in that. Trying to see. Oh wait, there it is. Slapshot. I do have this on DVD. I upgraded it to the Blu-ray, which I never opened. If you've never seen this movie, it's basically about a hockey. Paul Newman is a coach for a hockey team, and it's an interesting movie. The Hanson brothers, who are on the cover of the movie on this one, are these guys who you don't know what to make of them because they're playing with their trains or whatever it is. And they basically really take over. It's just a great movie. One of the few, very, very few sports movies that I actually like watching. Um, Trying to see if any of the other ones are over here, and they're not. One final one that I would have to talk about, if I had to, if I had to pick, um, it's not over here. That's what drives me nuts because I have some movies over here, some of the other ones. But I know it's kind of a movie not a lot of people like, which would be Tank Girl. The reason why I like it is just that, yeah, it's based off of comic books. It's not that well based off of it, but there's just something about the comedy in it. I think it was Ice-T has a song Big Gun, which is great. It's basically about a futuristic world where there's no water, hasn't rained for years and years and years. So water is basically used as money. And if you're caught hoarding water or whatever, you automatically go into the servitude of the water company. And this is more like based off in Australia. And Tank Girl ends up, the house she's in gets raided. She's taken into custody along with this little girl who ends up, and Iggy Pop was creepy in this one. Oh my God. You have to see it. They do this rendition of Birds Do It, Bees Do It. So Let's Fall in Love by Cole Porter, which Joan Jett and someone else do a cover version of in the soundtrack, which I think is one of the better songs on the soundtrack. One of the soundtracks I own to a movie. Um, Definitely worth it. I mean, if you don't mind Malcolm McDowell playing the villain like he normally does, he does a great role in that. Creepy as hell. Um, but yeah, I mean, it's in my top list. I wish I had more of the movies. Oh wait, we're gonna give an honorable mention here. Yes. Um, Game Master, what have you done? I should have gotten this one on DVD when I had the chance. It's on VHS. Hopefully, someone said they might know a way to put it on DVD. I'm waiting to hear back. Um, this movie and the follow-up Dungeon Rubber, which I have on DVD, are how I found out about Boglins, and this is what got me to get Bob. He's about a dungeon master who needs a fourth player for his campaign. He ends up summoning a demon who is supposed to play a paladin, and the demon calls himself Sucksface. It's awesome. It's funny. I love both of the movies. It is a little bit more amateurish than Dungeon Rubber, but you can tell they know what they're doing, and I've heard they've done other movies before this one, so definitely love it. It's like I said, it's where Bob came from, where I learned about Boglins, especially Bob Belob. A little bit of him comes from the demon, I admit, in this movie, but overall, it's a great one, And honestly, I don't know. I don't know what I would do without that little bugger in my life now because he's part of the channel. That's it, everybody. I'll talk to you later. Take care. Bye.